I'm Michael Fox, and this is the Prospector News Podcast. And I have joining me today Ramon Davila, who is the president of Guanajuato Silver in Guanajuato, Mexico. Welcome to the show, Ramon.
Thank you, Michael.
It's a pleasure to have you here. We're up in Canada. You're down in Mexico. We hear little snippets of information that come through the news filter about the changing mining environment in Mexico. And this conversation today is to distinguish from fact and fiction in that, and to address what's coming down the pipe with the Mexican election on June the 2nd. So let's start with running the clock back a couple of years when the current President Obrador passed a number of changes to the mining laws in Mexico.
Yes, Michael. About 1 year and 1 year ago, a new mining law was approved by the Congress in a very bad way. So anyhow, it was approved, and it has been challenged by some part of the Congress, and each one of the mining companies had the opportunity to request an appeal on that, or amparo. We call amparo in Mexico, in order to protect the companies from that new mining law. But anyhow, this mining law has some changes, and the worst that is in there is that all the exploration is going to be in hands of the government, and they don't have the capability to explore. And what they want is to have in the future the possibility of ask for royalties to the mining companies. That is going to have an effect against the growth of the mining industry, and we will have a need to go through a different process than normally we do. However, the actual mining companies, in order to continue operating, doesn't have any problem as long as you cover yourself, looking at your permits and having the possibility of comply with the law. So either the old and the new law. By the way, Guanajuato Silver has won an appeal against this new mining law, and so we are operating through the old system, through the old mining law. And there is a possibility, and there is in the process a review for the Supreme Court of the way that this new mining law was approved. There is a very good possibility that this new mining law is declared not constitutional. So, in few words, we can continue operating. New projects are the ones that are going to be limited at some point.
So what the law, as it's been proposed to, and passed and now being challenged, is essentially setting up a situation where in order to explore, the government was meant to be the ones that are going to do the exploration. And if I heard you correctly, at that point, then they were going to handpick who they got to do the exploration based on the amount of royalties that the government would take back.
Yes.
Is that okay?
That is correct.
In our part of the world, and we talked about separating the fact and the fiction of all of this. In our part of the world, there's been several analysts that have suggested that this was the first step towards Mexico nationalizing their entire mining sector. So I'm not hearing that's in fact the case.
Not at this moment. What the Mexican government wants is to have more control, or at least is what they say with this new mining law, on the new projects on exploration in order to get some funds back to the government with the royalties at some point. There is an additional cost that is going to be imposed to new projects. But I don't see at this moment a nationalization project on the mining industry. They don't have the capability.
Okay. Since this happened, Obrador has also taken and started to talk openly about restricting other parts of the mining industry. Now, the mining industry in Mexico, it's pretty big. The statistics that I have seen is it represents 2.5% of the gross domestic product from Mexico. It is, in Mexico itself is the top silver mining jurisdiction in the world. And it represents 3.9 billion, that's with a B, dollars in investment. And there's 200,000 direct jobs in the mining sector. You would think the government would be more careful about dealing with an industry that is that significant.
I will think so if they were thinking like ourselves. My comment will be that we haven't, as mining industry leaders and mining industry participants in Mexico, we haven't been able to communicate the benefits of the mining industry. Of those 200,000 jobs, most of them are in areas where there is not another possibility of jobs, and is very important for the communities where the mining industry establish the projects, which are not always located in the cities. The mining industry, besides doing everything, creating access roads, power lines, and creating schools and community effects, is not being properly communicated.
No. Now, in your previous life, you were head of economic development for the Durango province or Durango states in Mexico. How important is mining to the wealth of the rural Mexicans in the areas where the mining is actually operating? You've mentioned about a lot of modernization, better roads, better infrastructure, things of that nature. But it's got to have an economic knock-on effect as well, as far as other industry, does it not?
Yes, it is. But my view, knowing the mining industry very very well in depth, is that is more benefits that anything. You see immediately when a mine starts in a location, the economic benefit for the community is amazing.
Yeah, it's a way for the community to build wealth amongst their populace, right?
Yes.
And a lot of the jobs that come from these new mines go to those local communities, do they not?
Oh yes, there is always, and being a mining country for many years, there is a lot of people that knows how to work in the mining industry, and this usually is a very good possibility for the people to grow in economic jobs. You have to consider that the mining industry pays over 35 to 40% over any other similar job in other industries. So it is a very important benefit for the people in the communities. And also you mentioned 200,000 people, but direct jobs. But the indirect jobs is 4 to 1. So we have 1 million people living around the mining industry.
That's a significant amount of people, which brings me to the fact that you guys are having an election coming up very soon, June the 2nd, if I have my dates correct. And prior to the election, the Moreno Party, which Obrador, the current president, is a member of, has put forth a proposal to outright ban open pit mining in Mexico. Is this just electioneering, or are they serious?
Well, they made this proposal just 1 month ago or something like that. On my point of view, it was kind of an increased popularity for the government. It hasn't been analyzed by the Congress. Has to go through the Congress, and the Congress is going to be finished this year's term next Tuesday. And I don't see the possibility that is going to be carried at this point in this term. However, if the lady that is running for the ruling government, Morena, which is Claudia Sheinbaum, if she wins the election, it's a very good possibility for her to try to push this further away. There are two aspects here. One is going to be the Congress. If the opposition wins the Congress, it's going to be a very difficult for the new president to impose that ban. Or the other possibility is that she has good advisors in economic point of view, and she has to recognize that the importance of the mining industry, as you mentioned, 2.5%, 3% of the gross product is very important, and we have been through the chamber of mines trying to communicate to them the importance of the mining industry, and maybe there is a good possibility that this situation can be renegotiated at some point.
Yeah, what struck me about it that, again, I'm pro mining, obviously, but what struck me was that when push came to shove, 60% of the mining output in Mexico, that's gold, silver, and copper, are coming from open pit mines. And as I read the proposal, it looked like if you had an open pit mine, which, by the way, for reference, Guanajuato Silver, all their mine operations are underground and not open pit. You were in the danger of losing your mine. You couldn't invest any further in new mines, and it seemed to be an outright curtailment of mining activity in Mexico. And given that Mexico is the top silver producer, and most of the increased demand on the silver markets are coming from solar panels and electric vehicle manufacturing, it seemed counterproductive to the new green economy. And it's my understanding on an industrial level in Mexico as well, there's a lot of electric vehicle plants and battery plants that are being proposed for Mexico as part of the North American free trade agreement between Mexico, the United States, and Canada, as well as solar panel companies manufacturing in Mexico as well. Put the manufacturing close to where the silver is.
You are totally right. Not only silver, gold, also copper, and all the elements that the new industry in the nearshoring trend that we have at this moment, with plants arriving from China here at Mexico, they will need all these materials for supplies. Our understanding is that they haven't seen that effect because if not, we are not importing at this moment many of the critical minerals. But if we stop mining in open pits, we will be very soon in the need of importing in order to cover the needs of materials in Mexico.
So would this ban, in fact, curtail investment in other sectors of the Mexican economy beyond just the mining sector?
Yes, it is what I am trying to say. It will go a big impact. So it's not going to be only the support of the mining industry to the gross product in Mexico, but to the gross national product, but the other industries is like cement industry. All of them they have open pits. Are they going to be stopped?
Well, if I read the ban correctly, yeah, that's what the
They say
proposal is.
everything has to stop,
Yeah.
and that is crazy.
I know you're a mining expert, but do you know what the percentage of the gross domestic product these auto factories and solar factories have to, what's their impact on the overall Mexican economy? Do you know?
I will say that at least 10% in total, mining and other industries.
So this this would be a significant step backwards then for the Mexican economy in whole if they were to go through with this. So you're of the belief though that this is just posturing for votes. This isn't something that's going to be actually seriously taken up in the new government if Ms. Scheinbaum actually wins.
I will expect that she is against mining, but she's not crazy. So,
Well, she would probably like to keep her job if she gets it, right? So
yeah,
now she was the former mayor of Mexico City. Is that correct?
it's
So
correct.
she does come from a very large urban environment. Is that part and parcel as to why she maybe doesn't understand the mining industry, which is more of a rural environment?
Yes, my guess is that, and it's not only her understanding; it's the most of the NGOs that are participating in this situation are at some point ignorance of the mining industry, the benefits and the way that we operate.
Okay, let's contrast her now with the opposition candidate, for lack of a better term. I am going to hopefully pronounce this correctly after your coaching, but Xochitl Galvez is the other woman. So there's two female candidates coming up for the presidency. I understand there is a third candidate, but he is trailing the field dramatically and is not likely to have much of a chance come election day. She's more from a rural environment, and she has a better grasp of the mining industry and seems to be a little bit more pro-mining than Claudia Sheinbaum is.
Yes, she is. As a matter of fact, she is pro-mining, and she is an entrepreneur. She is a businesswoman. She has her own companies and is a very important in the industry of communications and computers and things like that. So she knows that mining is very important for that. And in her past roles in the governments that have been through the years, she acted as minister of the indigenous support, and she knows that it's very important for these communities that are far away that the mining industry continues, I had the opportunity to be talking with her in a table lunch meeting, and I had the opportunity to tell her that what I was thinking, and she said, "I am full aware of that." And we think that we have a much better chance with Xochitl than with Claudia.
Okay, yeah, she was talking about a number of things. So Chile, by the way, for those that aren't familiar, it is an indigenous name for Mexico. She had some, she wants to bring back the mining funds, which were there during Vicente Fox's presidency, which she was a member of that government. That was funneling the benefits of the mining industry back into the local communities for infrastructure and other benefits. So that went away. Did that go away under Obrador, or did that disappear in other interim governments in between? And how important is it to bring back the mining fund?
Well, it's very important, Michael. It was Obrador decided to take the money from those funds, which is a very important participation of the mining companies that are operating in Mexico. And the main focus of those funds were to support the communities surrounding the mining activity. However, these guys, this actual government, have taken the money and nobody knows where it's going. So the idea from Xochitl is to recover that fund and to try to support the communities that are surrounding the mining company.
Okay. The one piece when I was reading about this that seemed to be the only opposition to this as an idea was that they thought that the fund should be spread beyond just the communities around the mines to include other communities, so that they saw benefit from the mining industry as well. Is that a correct assumption? That seems to be the only critique of going back to that older regime.
Yes, it was something that was solved, and there was a part of the money that was obtained. Part was for the federal government, part for the state government, part for the municipality where the mines were located, and part for the communities. And it was very well defined, and everything was working well. What is happening now is that the communities, anyhow, they require the help from the companies, and they are asking for support, which is duplicating the cost, because we continue paying this fund, which is 7.5% of the net profit.
Okay, so you're paying the government 7.5% and then still supporting the communities as well over and above that.
Yeah, because if not, you will have a community problem.
Yeah, and nobody wants that, that's for sure. The other thing that I noticed that she has an opposition to there's been numerous challenges to the lithium mining concessions. I guess that Mexico has the potential of becoming a good source of lithium, again, battery metals, green technology. And the current government has thrown a wrench into those gears as well in trying to get that industry up and running.
Yes, it is. But to be honest, the lithium mineral that is being found here in Mexico is within rock material. Is not able to be like in Chile, for example, that is coming from evaporation, from the sun evaporation. And the recovery of lithium here in Mexico is much more expensive than other countries. So I am not sure that we will be able to compete in the future.
I see. So that's, just like the open pit ban on the one side, this is the red herring from the other side.
Yes, it is, and it was used by the president of Mexico, is trying to say that the lithium industry will solve the problems, economic problems of the country, which is not true.
I see. Okay. So June 2nd is coming up fairly quickly. I've seen the polls that would suggest that Claudia Sheinbaum, from the incumbent party, is leading the polls and has a better shot at winning than Xochitl does. If you were handicapping the race, what do you think the likely outcome is, and what has to have happen for each of these candidates to get across the finish line and be the president?
Uh, the official candidate is pushing these polls, this in order to demonstrate that she is winning, and trying to let the people know that this is a lost cause going to vote, but it's not. If we don't have a vote turnout higher than 60%, Claudia will win. If it's higher than 60%, there is a very good chance that Xochitl will win. So what is important here in Mexico is that everybody will go to vote.
What's voter turnout normally like in Mexico?
Well, last time it was 60%, so it's not that far away, and it's a lot of interest at this moment.
Okay, so that's in your handicapping of this. It's a toss up as to which of these two ladies will be the president then.
Well, I wish Xochitl will win.
Well, that was obvious from our discussion, but
from many points. I don't agree with the idea of having a country going in the way to go to some of the South American countries like Venezuela or like Cuba. Mexico, it has a lot to give, and the natural resources, the people deserve a much better world.
Yes, I would agree with that full-heartedly. As we wrap up, I'll get you to give an overview of Guanajuato Silver so people know what the company's all about, and then I'll thank you for your time.
Thank you, and I am very happy to do that. Guanajuato Silver is a young company that has over a little bit over 2 years of operations in Mexico. We began trying to consolidate a mining district in Guanajuato, which is a world-class mining district. Which why we are getting into these mines? First, because we were able to turn them in operation very soon. Second is because there is a lot of space still to consolidate new exploration projects in the area, because in the past it was pulverized. The mining claims were owned by many companies or individuals, and at this moment we are the only ones, and we have about 40%, 45% of the mining claims. Fresnillo has another 45%, and Endeavor still has a small operation there. So the idea is to give a new value and new possibilities to this company. Silver is our main product. We measure our production in silver equivalent, compensating the gold in in value of silver. This last year we produced around 3 million ounces. This year we are expecting to go anywhere between 4 to 5 million ounces of silver equivalent in the whole company. We have been ramping up every year the operations, and we still have a lot of room to grow, Michael.
Yeah, the companies in Mexico that I follow, yours is one of the more exciting stories to keep an eye on. It's amazing. You guys have gone from zero to, as you say, 4 to 5 million ounces of silver in a very, very short period of time. I want to thank you for coming on today to talk about the situation on the ground in Mexico, help us understand the difference between fact and fiction, and reality and posturing on the election trail in Mexico. And I look forward to having you back probably after the Mexican election, and we can do a postmortem on what's happened and what does it mean going forward.
I will be very happy to be with you, Michael, and thank you for having me here in this podcast.
Thank you, Ramon. The Prospector News podcast is for educational purposes only. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not to be taken as investment advice. Listeners need to do their own due diligence and seek advice of a licensed investment advisor.